Hi, my African people, it's your boy Dr. Fon from the F Company Pictures. Have you been wanting to start doing video in Adobe Premiere Pro? Then this tutorial is for you. I'm here to show you the interface and the basic start of Adobe Premiere Pro, so let's get started. Alright, let me just take you real quick to Adobe Premiere Pro. So when your Adobe Premiere Pro is open like this, you create a new project, you renamed it, and that's all. You can hit OK. So when your Adobe Premiere Pro is open, inside the timeline, so over here is your editing panel where you do your cutting, you do your transitions, patterning, and over here is your color panel where you do your color correction and your color grading. And right to the next is your effects panel where you apply your effects on your videos. So going back to the media browser to import one image so that we can start to work with it. You go to a folder where you have your videos, select your video, right click and come over here to import. So right here is to select a certain part of your image before drag and drop to the timeline. Look for a good starting point of your video and you click to the mark in. Also look for a good end point on your video and click mark out. You drag the video and you drop onto the timeline. Right over here is your effects control where you control the effects on the video like the audio, the frame and opacity. So over here is your selection tool where you can shift your image, hold your image and right click on your image. And over here is your razor tool where you can use to cut your images for patterning. Now you can just do a little bit of patterning. Now you go over to your color panel to do some color correction of your video. Now over to your lumetri color, you have your basic correction. Go to your basic correction. Over to your basic correction, you add some contrast, reduce some highlights, add some shadows, add some white, reduce some black, and add your saturation. Now your image looks like this. Go now over to white balance. Click on the pen, which is your WB selector, and drop on anywhere white on your image. And that is how your image is just going to be automatically white balance. Over here is just to adjust your playback. When you go to 1/2, you are going to have a slight smooth playback. When you go to 1/4, you are going to have a good playback for this particular video when you have a small computer. And over here is just where you zoom into the image to see what is going on in the image and feedback to screen to continue the work. So over here is just where you just mark in or out on the timeline to export just a certain position of your video. And when you right click on your image, you are going to get some additional options that you can also use on your video. So on your effects is where you are just going to drag some kind of certain effects you want to use to treat your voice, like the EQ, the delay, the reverbs, and many more. So for example, I'm just going to drag and drop an EQ, try to tweak the EQ for you to understand what I'm trying to say. And when you are done with your image, you can just come over to File, go to Export, go to Media, and it's going to bring you to this section. This is where you select your format, and over here is where you get your presets. You want to export high quality Full HD, high quality 4K, high quality Half HD, or you want to export directly on YouTube, you can just click YouTube Full HD. And when you are there, you can now go to output name, you go to where you want to save your file, put a name, and you click saved. Now you come over here, you put it on VBR2 pass. So over here, you set your bit rate. I usually leave it at 16, but over here, I try to add it like 30 so that I'll have that high quality. And now you can now just click export and your image will start to export like this. So that is all about the interface of Adobe Premiere Pro if you have never used it before. So guys, my name is Dr. Fon from the F Company. So if you find this video useful, click the subscribe button so that I will be following you up on YouTube. Thank you very much. See you next time.